Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about what is a mindset coach. And I might have talked about it before on the podcast, especially in the first maybe 100 episodes. But since we're over 200 episodes, I need to make it a habit of always going back to this every couple hundred episodes or something like that. What is a mindset coach? And then maybe even going on, how can a mindset coach help you? But today we're going just to keep it simple. What is a mindset coach? And in simple terms, a mindset coach is going to be a different way of looking at a life coach. A life coach is going to be focusing on results, goals, things like that. And they're going to be doing an aspect of mindset too. It's just that they don't call it mindset coaching. They call it life coaching. Because if we can get you better at life, then typically things get better. But for mindset coaching, we do something very particular that's a little bit different than life coaching, is that we focus on your mind, how you're thinking about a certain thing. And I'm going to be talking about that in today's episode, not only going to be showing you the blog, but breaking down exactly what is a mindset coach, because it's important to understand what type of coach you're going to be working with. Yes, we can understand that we have a good mindset or a bad mindset or a poor mindset, whatever the mindset is. We need to make sure that we have a good mindset that's going to help us. So let's get into that blog right now and then start to break things down. What is a mindset coach? If you're new to the channel and you're new to the podcast, head over to revenconcepts.com and you can check out our website and you will see that there's many different things that you can check out. Well, the first thing is you're going to see that you can get a consultation at no cost and you can start to develop a better mindset, different ideas, all these different things that can happen just from a short conversation. I had someone who reached out to me the other day who wanted to do just a quick consultation. And this was a person who I had a feeling he didn't want to get coaching. He was basically just kind of shopping around for ideas. And he told me in the email, he said, I'm just calling a bunch of different coaches around and trying to get all the free consultations I can so I can get the best advice. And I thought to myself, I said, that's one way to go about it. But then I said, all right, are you going to take action, right? Because there's one thing to get information, but then it's another thing to commit yourself and take action. And so what he was doing was he was getting a bunch of information, and I'm going to tell you exactly what he was doing. He was figuring out how much work it's going to take. This is going to be a lot of work. I don't want to do this. So he's going to choose right now. Does he stay where he is or does he push forward? And if he doesn't have a coach, I can almost guarantee you, he's not going to push forward. And if he does push forward, he's going to push forward in a way that's not conducive to success, happiness, etc. Just from the conversation. I'm not going to put him on the spot. But either way, moving on now to what is a mindset coach, right? Because a mindset coach, like I said, is similar to a life coach, but it's a little bit different. We focus on the mindset part. How do you think about something? The quality of your thoughts. Is mindset optimism? Is mindset pessimism? Maybe, maybe not, right? What mindset truly is, it is an innate urge for you to achieve. So if you want to achieve something in your life, that's your mindset. If you don't want to achieve something, that is your mindset. So you have either a strong urge to achieve or you have maybe a subpar urge to achieve. Neither is wrong. Neither is right. You get to live your life the way you want to live. I'm not out here trying to change people who don't want to be changed. If you want more in your life, that's what I do. I help you get more in your life. But if you want to stay exactly where you are, by all means, move out of everyone else's way. So let's get into the ideas of what is a mindset coach. What we do here in Reven Concepts is we have many different types of services. And we do life and mindset coaching, which encompasses the overall broad spectrum of what type of results you're going to get. Of course, you choose your goal and then you are going to figure out this is the path that I have to take. What type of mindset do I need? And then we go from there. We do youth mentoring, youth coaching, and that's going to be for typically high schoolers and people in college trying to figure out, is this the life that they want? Sometimes we don't know that we're giving our young adults, our young teens, a life that is ours. For example, I might want my kids to be doctors and lawyers, but they might not want to be a doctor and a lawyer. They might want to be an astronaut. They might want to be a musician, but I'm giving them what I want. I'm giving them the condition to choose a career that I'm going to love. So they might say, well, my dad wants me to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. So they'll go to school for however long, only to come out at the end of it unhappy. And the reason why they're unhappy was because they didn't follow their own path. They chose someone else's path. So I do a lot of work with youth mentoring in that regards, because anyone can be told that, oh, you can make a lot of money doing this, or you can do that and this and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? You can make a lot of money being a doctor or scientist or things like that, or engineer, but you have to ask yourself, do you want it? And if you don't want it, then figure out what else you would like to do. Sometimes the critical thinking aspect of our young minds have gone out the window already. We don't have to critically think anymore. We simply just do or look up. We don't have to think deeply. So I teach these young men and women how to think deeply, because if they can't think deeply, then that's when they're going to go down a path that they don't necessarily love, and they don't even know what to do about it. So the questions I ask them are very meaningful, and they always respond the same. I never thought of it that way. And then I said to myself, I know, but we keep on moving, right? I keep asking them the questions that they don't think about so they can be aware of them. Because if they're not aware of those questions, then they're not going to be aware of themselves. Then we get into the career coaching aspect. And I do a lot of work here, helping people find their purpose, find their passion, find a new career, a new job, a new life. It depends, right? Sometimes you might have a degree and you want to stay in your degree. Sometimes you want to change everything up, and either or is fine. You just have to ask yourself, are you committed to the change, and are you going to make it to the finish line when it comes to career coaching? Life and mindset coaching, we can pivot here and there. We can kind of play around to see what's working. Youth mentoring, we can just ask some questions, figure out what's, the mindset, what needs to be done. Let's figure out a plan. Do you like this plan? Yes? Okay, cool. Let's go with that. Career coaching, on the other hand, we have to be more careful. And the reason why we have to be careful in career coaching is sometimes it's going to take some time to level up. Think of a promotion. You're not going to just get a promotion on week one. Maybe you are. It's possible, but it's unlikely too. So you can get a promotion if you've been in a position for a couple months. That's more feasible. But at the same time, are you in love with that position still after the promotion? Because maybe you got more responsibilities, and maybe you're starting to realize that you don't like this job. Maybe you don't like the people you're working with. So you want to make a change. And whether that change be because of the job, the people, or the money, you get to choose if you want to stay in this career or do you want to leave this career. Mindset coaching is going to give you all those answers. Then we dive down into the health and fitness coaching section. And the health and fitness coaching session is not your typical health and fitness type of coaching. Think of health and fitness as, oh, I'm going to get a gym trainer. My gym trainer is going to train with me and I'm going to get my buff body. Yes, right? I have created workout plans. I have created nutrition plans for people. But this is something that I actually outsource quite often to other coaches that have been in the podcast or coaches that are in my network, people that I would recommend for health and fitness. But when you come to me for health and fitness, there's one thing that I'm going to help you understand. Why do you have the body that you have? Mindset. Why do you have that body that you have? If it's a great body, why do you have it? If it's a bad body, why do you have it? And the bad body, not meaning, oh, you're 300 pounds overweight. 300 pounds overweight is going to be, what do you think about that, right? Because you can be perfectly satisfied with your body. What is a bad body to you? You might say, oh, I'm looking in the mirror, I got some love handles. My biceps need to be bigger. Oh, whatever, right? You get to choose what type of body that you want, what type of lifestyle that you want. Maybe you find that you don't have enough energy in the day. Maybe the whole day you're just lethargic. You're just like slow, sluggish, trying to move through the day. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. Why can't I take more action? Why can't I be more in my day? And the answer might be very simple. Maybe you have a poor diet. Maybe you're eating a lot of junk food. I notice when I eat poor, meaning I might have like hamburger and french fries or something for like a Friday. And then Saturday, I feel like garbage. And then it's like, okay, well, I know what I ate the day before. And it's not that the hamburger and the hot dog or the hamburger and the french fries are going to be something that's going to make everyone this sluggish all of a sudden. We have to look at so many different factors, because I might have ate that hamburger and hot dog or hamburger and french fries or pizza or cake or whatever, or ice cream that I ate that day. I'm going to maybe not have drank enough water. Maybe I'm not going to be paying attention to how much food did I eat that day, because I might say, well, I already had 2,000 calories. I don't need more. But guess what? The body needs certain nutrients. So maybe I didn't give my body enough fiber that day. It could be a plethora of things that can go wrong. Health and fitness is understanding that. And then one of the most important parts is nutrition. And that is where I have wonderful nutritionists that can help you in this area. But I give you the first aspect and then I pass you on. And that first aspect is, why do you have the body that you have? And then once you figure that out, you can make any change you want from there. Because once you figure out, this is the reason why I have my body, then we can, of course, bring you to the right people, put you in the right mindset, and then you can start to make the changes that you want to make. It's a very simple process. And then we get into my most enjoyable one. And this is probably my second most popular one, because I think it goes mindset coaching, life coaching, relationship coaching, career coaching, youth mentoring, and then health and fitness in that order of popularity. So relationship coaching is a lot of fun for me because I get to see the mindset of how you think in a relationship. And you might have a great relationship with someone, but you might not even know why you have a great relationship with them. You might have a terrible relationship with someone and you don't know why it's so bad. What I do in relationship coaching is we look at the mindset part of it. Are you in a good relationship? Are you in a bad relationship? What can make your relationship better? And then we go from there. If you're having trouble getting a relationship, meaning you're a gentleman looking for a wonderful lady, or you're a lady looking for your knight in shining armor, whatever you want to call him, then you have to say, well, what is the reason why I'm not able to attract that person I'm looking for? What is stopping me? What are my roadblocks? And from there, we start to dissect your issue, because most issues are very personal, but they can stem from not knowing who to look for, what to look for, and where to look for them. I mean, that could be just a start. And there could be a whole list of things that have to be adjusted. And it's not that you're broken. It's just that you need a little bit of guidance. And then we get into the area of, well, what is a mindset coach? Because a mindset coach can be many different things, right? And I talked about what we do here at Reven Concepts, and we go down to the different types of coaching that we offer, but it's all touching on mindset, the mindset of life, the mindset of youth mentoring and coaching, the mindset of career coaching, the mindset of health and fitness, the mindset of relationships. All of that is all going to be dealing with mindset. And there's one common thread that we have to understand when we are looking at mindset coaching. That is the success that we're looking for. What is success to us? And I talk about it in the blog here. Success is going to be dealing with, am I happy with what I have? Because you can be happy with what you have right now and you can say that you're successful. Oftentimes, many people are going to say, well, I'm not successful because I don't have this yet, or I'm looking to achieve this in my life. And there's nothing wrong with having goals and there's nothing wrong with pushing. But you have to understand, are you present in that action? Are you present in that thinking? And if you're not present in that thinking, how can you change it? And that is going to be one of the key factors that we have to look at. How am I thinking in the present moment? Because oftentimes, again, people are so quick to put their happiness into the future. Many people are so quick to give themselves an idea that is tomorrow, or an action that is tomorrow. But what about today? What about right now? What is happening in your life that we can adjust today, right now? And that's what I do. I look at people's lives. They tell me that they have a goal. They say, oh, Michael, I want to do this in my life. I want to accomplish this. I'm having trouble in this area. And I say, okay, well, you got some work to do. Which one do you want to get started with first? And they might say, well, I want to start with a relationship. And they have life problems. They have health problems. They have career problems. And I say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't start with relationships first. We have 3 things that are going to benefit our relationship if we can get that mindset in the right order. Because to have a relationship, you need to have a good career mindset. You need to have a general life mindset. And you need to have a good mindset when it comes to your health and fitness. Because if you're just a slob, they're going to see that too. So appearance is big. And if you're not taking care of yourself, the other person's not going to take care of you. Now, I'm not saying that you can't find love in the body that you have, but it's going to be forever more difficult, especially if you're a man. If you're a woman, you can probably get away with it. But you have to ask yourself about lifestyle too. are you able to live the life that you want? For me, for the longest time, I always thought about my health and my fitness as something very simple. I want to be able to go hiking and not have to have like a heart attack. I wanted to be able to climb the steepest of the hills and to be able to breathe through my nose and not out of my mouth. And I remember back in college, and when I graduated college and I was a teacher, I would always take my dog hiking, and we would always go on the steep part first, because if we didn't go on the steep part first, then that means we would be going down the steep part, and that was too easy. So we made sure that we went from the bottom up, because that was the most challenging way to get up there. And my dog was always raring to go. She was always trying to beat me, trying to always stay ahead of me, but she's off leash, so I want to make sure that she's not too far where I can give her a command and she's going to come. Now, yes, she was trained to come to me. Should she had a leash on? Probably. She had a lead on her. I would always leave the leash on the ground, and so if I ever needed her, I just call her, or I can just walk over to her and I can pick up the leash. So it was never something where it's like, oh, the dog's off leash and she's dangerous. She's a very loving girl. But we have to look at, okay, she's going to be in shape because she's hiking up this steep ass hill, and I need to be in shape because I'm hiking up with this dog and I can't let this dog get too far ahead of me. So she was always trying to beat me, but we were always neck and neck. So I had to make sure I was in shape for that, because I wanted to allow her to be free and not have to worry about, oh, this guy is having a heart attack on the hill. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I had that mindset of health and fitness, and everything else started to fall into place because of that. And I remember one time I took a former girlfriend hiking, and we went the same path that I always do. And about halfway up, she just stops and sits down on the ground. She goes, I give up, just leave me here. I was tempted, but we have to make sure that we have the mindset to keep on pushing through any type of challenge, through any type of adversity. But if you're having a hard time in your life, you have to ask yourself one of the most important questions. What is my mindset about this? Because if you can figure out what type of mindset that you have, guess what happens? You can start to figure out the answers, or you can start to figure out the cause and effect, or the solution, or the aftermath, or what's going to happen. If you pay attention to my episodes with my guests, I'm actually doing mindset work with them. Not that they have to know about it, but I'm actually going off their questions to mindset. So for example, they say, well, the reason why people are not happy in their life is because they had a rough childhood. And then maybe they go on to explain a little bit more. And then my next question is going to be about the next feasible question about mindset. Because yeah, you had a rough child. So then I'm going to talk about perception. I'm going to say, well, just because you had a rough childhood, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be thinking that way, correct? And they might say, yeah, sure. But I don't typically answer questions like that because it's going to be harsh on the conversation. But I typically answer questions with a story. And I will give a small anecdote or a small example on the difference between perceptions. And then they're allowed now to answer the question of the different perspectives of perception. It's all about mindset. So what they told me was what they were going to say. And what I told them was the possible mindset outcomes. And maybe there can be multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on what the topic was. But then they get to start to ask themselves deep questions like, I never thought of that. Of course you didn't think about that. Because mindset goes deeper than what we just believe. Our conscious mind is so powerful, but our subconscious mind is even more powerful. If we can understand our subconscious mind more than our conscious mind, imagine all the questions that we can answer and ask. So when I'm working with someone, a client, I'm not listening to what they're telling me only. I'm listening to all the things they're not telling me, because in their words is the answer. And I'm just looking in between the words, because we can all say, oh yeah, life is good, everything's good, blah, 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 blah. But just because everything is good and you're saying everything is good, it doesn't mean everything is good. The law of affirmation works to a certain extent, but that is developing a mindset. It's not so much of, well, I'm going to put it into the universe and I hope things come out my way or work out for me. It doesn't work that way. The law of affirmation is going to be, I'm giving myself a purpose, an idea to start to change my mindset, neuroplasticity. How can I change the way my brain thinks? And if you can change the way your brain thinks in certain areas, imagine what you can do. Because you're going to have a lot of obstacles in your life, and you have to figure out, do you allow those obstacles to remain in your way, or do you remove these obstacles from your life? I teach people how to remove those obstacles. And that's just the start of the work I do as a mindset coach, because we are looking at everything in their life. Number one, we're looking at their most desired areas that they want to be changed. We're looking at the client's most desired areas that they want to have changed. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if we change it, happiness comes. Happiness comes before the change. Why do you think happiness comes before the change? Because it's not about the destination. It's about the process. To fall in love with the process. So if you want to get in shape, you fall in love with going to the gym. You fall in love with eating a chicken breast and vegetables. Maybe, maybe not. Because you get tired of eating stuff like that. But you fall in love with the process. And then, of course, the aftermath is going to be a great body, better health. And then you're just going to look at it as, oh, well, I'm looking good. But the mindset that you have beforehand. I know people that are worried about being skinny, so they don't want to lose weight. And I know people who are skinny who don't want to gain weight because they'll look fat. And it's all about self-image. What do you see in the mirror when you look in the mirror? It's not so much about what society says to you, because society can say that you look great, but you don't. And society can say that you don't look great and you do. Because people are going to put you down before they're going to lift you up every single day. And you need to make sure that you can lift yourself up regardless of what happens in the world, regardless of what people say to you, and regardless of how you're feeling. Because if your feelings, right, you can feel a certain type of way every single day and you can show up still. You think people want to go to their 9-to-5s, but they still do it to raise their kids, to pay their mortgage, to put food on the table. They do it. They handle their business every single day. What are we doing? Why can't people get to a better life? It's all about mindset. They might say, oh, well, I just worked a 9-to-5 and now I'm tired and I got to help the kids with homework. I got to put them in bed and things like that. And I'm not saying that your life is easy. Life can be filled with a lot of responsibilities and challenge that you have to take care of. Very true. But do you want to change your circumstances? Yes or no? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. Oftentimes people are going to say no because they would rather have comfort. They would rather rest. They would rather have easy now and hard later than hard now and easy later. You get to choose how to change your life. You get to choose what type of mindset do you have. And you get to choose the mindset that's going to be necessary. And the only thing you have to do is figure out what type of mindset is going to be necessary to help you get into a new life, a new year. And if you're having a hard time figuring out what type of mindset you have because you have told yourself a lie long enough and now it's your truth, you're going to have a more difficult time getting out of that habit, out of that way of thinking. But it's not impossible. And the work that I do is going to be helping people get into the mindset, changing the quality of their thoughts, changing how their thoughts are viewed. Because you can view your thoughts as something as negative and you can say, oh, I'm thinking this way. My life is not bad. We look at the things we don't have rather than the things we do. And there's certain things we insert into mindset like gratitude, hope, planning. I mean, we can go on, right? But mindset is about planting the seed. Mindset is about looking at your mind and figuring out, is this going to be the map that's going to lead us to where we want to go? Sometimes it's not. And if it's not the map that's going to lead us to our desired life, we need to figure out where to find that map. And I help people map out their life. And I help people understand that we can make any change that they want for their life. Sometimes we have to plant the seed, nurture that seed, take care of that seed, and one day it's going to sprout. Similar to how the body might not be able to lift a certain amount of weight, but if we train the body, if we put in the work and we eat healthy and we work out, our body becomes stronger. And the same thing happens with the mind. Our mind becomes stronger. The more we think, the more we critically think, the more we challenge it, the more we give it opportunities to succeed rather than to be still. So if you're ready to change your life and you don't want to be still anymore, of course, head over to RevenConcepts.com. We have the free consultations. We have all of the blogs. We have the motivational video series. We have this podcast. All of this is going to be there to help you get into a better mindset. You might not be able to afford coaching right now, and that's why I do this. That's why I have the podcast. That's why I have the blogs, to give you that step up, because you can do everything yourself. It just takes a little bit longer because you're going to be hitting more roadblocks. You might be going through more trials, but just because you go through more hardship, it doesn't mean that you can't achieve something. You keep on pushing regardless of it. And maybe you do come to the point where you have the financial backing to hire a coach. And then that's when you can start to make huge strides to who you're supposed to be, rather than just taking small incremental steps if you do it by yourself. Either or, continuing to make progress in who you're becoming, because who you can become, it's up to you. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.